Hello everyone. A lot of people are afraid of insects. There is even a special name for this condition, entomophobia. But why is this fear so common among humans, even though insects are 100 times smaller than us? In fact, this phobia has a fairly logical explanation related to our natural instincts. After all, a large number of insects are extremely venomous and even deadly. Today, we will talk about them because, as the saying goes, forewarned is forearmed. Let's get it on. Bombardier beetle. If you think the body of insects is primitive, then you are mistaken. For example, this beetle's defense mechanism is similar to that of V1 aerial bombs. Evolution gave this insect a unique defense system, a highly accurate cannon with a mixture of chemicals that can hit the enemy with pinpoint precision. The speed of such an attack reaches 500 releases per second, and the attack range is up to 10 centimeters. So how does this unique weapon work? The fact is that the Bombardier's bellies have two chambers that store the substances necessary for the chemical reaction, hydroquinone and hydrogen peroxide. When necessary, the reagents are mixed in a fraction of a second, reach 100 degrees Celsius and are released. This is possible with the help of a special cannon, which can bend in any direction. For example, it can even hit a target that's behind the insect as well. Such an attack usually results in the immediate death of the enemy, sometimes preceded by brief convulsions. The Bombardier beetle is not dangerous to humans though. However, if you do try to catch it without special gloves, you may well burn the upper layers of your epidermis. Victims of this insect's chemical weapons are usually spiders, frogs, and ants. Bullet ant. At first glance, ants may look like harmless, hard-working insects, but this impression is pretty misleading. For example, a tropical species known as the bullet ant can bite you harder than any bee or wasp. The sting of this miniature warrior is 3.5 millimeters long, which is quite impressive for its body size. In addition, this insect's bite or sting is classified as the most painful, according to the Schmidt Sting Pain Index. The pain of this ant's bite is said to be comparable to being hit by a bullet in the body. Moreover, the pain lasts up to 24 hours. It can also be accompanied by paralysis and tremors. The insect's venom generates this effect thanks to a special protein substance called ponerotoxin. Interestingly, the incredible properties of bullet ants are used in an unusual initiation rite among the Sateri Mawe Indians. To mark the transition from childhood to adulthood, the boys must endure the stings of a herd of these insects. Each boy must put on special gloves covered with ants inside and sit with the gloves on for at least 10 minutes. The pain is pretty hard to imagine. In addition, this rite is known to cause hand paralysis and complete loss of sensitivity for several days. In addition, to become a true tribal man, the boys have to pass this test a couple of dozens of times. Giant desert centipede. This creature is a real nightmare for anyone who doesn't like insects. Just looking at it makes you shiver. But the giant desert centipede, which is considered to be the largest centipede in existence today, is not only terrifying in appearance, it's known to be able to kill its victims with a single blow from its poisonous claw. This insect lives in the US and northern Mexico and can reach up to 20 centimeters in length. It has more than 40 legs, and the front ones contain the deadly weapon. The Scolopendra uses its legs to protect itself from enemies and to hunt lizards, frogs, snakes, and birds. The powerful venom of the centipede is lethal to many small animals and toxic to humans. When it enters the body, it causes a local tumor, prolonged pain, fever, and overall weakness. Of course, if you don't intentionally disturb the centipede, it is unlikely to attack first. But even if it does, its venom, which contains lecithin, histamine, thermolysins, and hyaluronidase, is not lethal to humans. However, it is helpful to know that all of these elements are quickly destroyed by ether, ethyl alcohol, or strong alkalines. So if you're bitten by a centipede, you should cut the wound slightly and then rinse it with alcohol or a concentrated potassium permanganate solution. Brown-tailed moth. This moth's caterpillar, like all its brothers, is capable of causing serious damage to a large number of plants and trees, such as oak, apple, pear, and maple. However, it's not only dangerous to flora. The fact is that the body of the brown-tail moth caterpillar is covered with many hairs that contain poison. When it comes into contact with the skin, it causes severe irritation, which can leave scars and can even lead to serious breathing problems. But how? Well, it's very simple. When the caterpillar hairs enter the airways. Normally, the hairs can fly around in the air when the insects molt. Most surprisingly, the toxins in the hairs can remain active for up to 3 years after they're shed. Velvet ants. The appearance of these insects makes it clear that it's better not to mess with them. The aggressive coloring of the velvet ants, which are actually wasps, is in itself a warning for the enemy. By the way, this insect is also known as the cow killer. It doesn't actually kill cattle, but it causes them a lot of pain. The body of the velvet ants is very complex, which is why scientists call these insects invincible. The reason is the tough protective exoskeleton, plus the toxins that the velvet ants release during an attack. The biologists from the Hanover College in Indiana even conducted a series of experiments to test the ability of these insects to defend themselves from larger predators. None of the animals, including moles, toads, birds, and shrews, managed to swallow this bold insect. In fact, only the toad even tried. As a result, it immediately stopped breathing and quickly spat out its prey. So what is the secret of the velvet ant's invulnerability? Actually, there are 3 secrets. The powerful exoskeleton allows them to protect themselves from harm. Painful stings injure the predators, and toxic chemicals just scare them off. These substances aren't even lethal in most cases. They just repel attackers with their smell, making them think that the prey is inedible. Blister beetles. The properties of this insect's venom have been known for many centuries. In fact, it's been used for a long time in medicine, since in small doses it can stimulate certain areas of the cerebral cortex. In the 17th and 18th centuries, many men in Europe even used it as an aphrodisiac. However, coming into contact with the poison of blister beetles is extremely dangerous, even if it's not direct contact. For example, there are known cases of people being poisoned by consuming the meat of a frog that had previously eaten these insects. The reason is a special substance, cantharidin, which is found in the skin and hemolymph of blister beetles. If it comes into contact with human skin, this substance can cause severe burns and even blisters. The venom of these beetles is also extremely dangerous for livestock and reptiles, but hedgehogs, chickens, and turkeys, for example, eat them without any harm to their health. Fire ant. This ant is considered one of the most dangerous in the world, but until recently, no attacks on humans have been recorded. The first accident took place in 2017 in Japan. Fortunately, the sting victim was able to avoid serious health consequences at that time. However, the fire ant sting contains a dangerous substance called solenopsin. When it comes into contact with the skin, it causes a burn-like injury. It also causes redness, blistering, and swelling. In particularly severe cases, dizziness and vomiting may occur. However, the greatest danger from the bite is for people with allergies. In such cases, the incident may end in anaphylactic shock with a possible fatal outcome. Ticks. Ticks are probably a much more common insect than the other insects on this list. To date, scientists know more than 50,000 species. The consequences of interaction with these creatures can be very, very deplorable for both animals and humans. One of them is the so-called tick paralysis. Of course, not all tick species can cause this serious disease. Only 43 of all the species known to humans have the necessary neurotoxin. But how does this disease appear? It's believed that when they attach to the victim's body, the tick's salivary glands begin to release the toxin directly into the blood. This in turn quickly paralyzes the victim, and if the parasite isn't removed in time, there is a high probability of death from respiratory paralysis. There's still no vaccine for this disease either. In addition, ticks can also carry another very dangerous disease, encephalitis. It's particularly common in Russia, especially in the Urals, Siberia, and the Far East. A bite from a tick carrying the virus causes fever, intoxication, brain and spinal cord damage, and as a result, a possible fatal outcome. Fortunately, you can protect yourself from this virus with a vaccine. Hey, stop being lazy, it's time to use that brain of yours. Welcome to Brain Time. Incredible facts from the past, the present, and even the future. The power of nature and wild animals, amazing facts and unsolved mysteries. You'll find all this and much more here. Subscribe now, you won't regret it.